Shalom Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His word and family. It is that time again, my favorite time of the week. I have the honor and the privilege to be right here with you, the royal family, on this Sabbath night. And I want to thank you so much for all of your continued support as we support this family. And of course, y'all already know we cannot go without saying this. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And once again, thank you for bringing this in with your brother this week. Family, disclaimer. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you are tenderhearted, if you are sensitive, if you have an issue with the way that I speak and have spoken in the past on certain subjects, I'm gonna let you know right now, this lesson is not for you. Okay? This lesson here are for those that, number one, have a sense of humor. Okay? There's so many of y'all out there that are so uptight, and I've talked to so many of you, and as y'all, the ones who probably not watching now because they probably went away. But there were just certain people I would just rolling my eyes at. I'm like, okay, whatever. But let me tell you something. I'm going to keep this very lighthearted tonight because this lesson here that we're going to go over, lust, it really bothers people because they are caught up in lust. Okay? Now, more than likely, this is going to have to be a two-parter because there's so much that we have to cover. But there's one big subject when it comes to lust, and we all know what that is, the magic word sex. So we are going to deal with that one here tonight. All right, lasciviousness. All right, sexual lust. We're going to go over all that. And let me get back to what I was saying originally. I am going to be showing some videos here tonight. I'm going to be showing some videos, family, and these videos are not going to be for the lighthearted. So I'm telling you now, if you get offended by anything that I show, good, I'm glad, and I'm going to laugh at you. If you reach out to me and tell me that you was offended, I'm going to laugh my black ass off. So family, let's go ahead and get this started. Family, please open up your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha, and I would like for you to please go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. And while I'm getting this one pulled up here, how was y'all week? And I know y'all like, why he asked us this nigga can't hear us? Because I can hear you. Shut up. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. Now, let's go ahead and read this right off the bat. Right off the bat. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now, the reason why I'm reading this one here is because of the subject matter we are going to be talking about tonight. This is grown folk talk here tonight. Y'all understand? And that is what we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be dealing with grown people conversation, which means that we got to have grown people here listening. Now, this is not going to be too extreme to where the kids cannot watch. But I'm going to tell you, I put a disclaimer up, a PG-13, okay? And that's where it will be. So I'm not responsible for what your kid watches, all right? If you allow your child to watch this, then I think you are a wonderful, wonderful parent. Thank you. Because they have heard so much worse things than the things that I have said. But if you are a person, again, like I said, if you are offended, because there's going to be some things said here tonight and seen tonight. So I'm just trying to tell you. That's why I wanted to go ahead and bring that up, because I wanted you to see that even in the scriptures, there are times when there is grown folk talk. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get into this here with sexual lust. The first one I want you to go to 1 John chapter 2 and verse 16, please. 1 John, not the regular John, 1 John chapter 2 and verse 16. All right, let's go ahead and get this one here, family. Let's go ahead and get this. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this one out here to you is because I want you to see that there are different levels of lust. If you look at it one more time, the lust of the flesh, which is what we're going to be talking about here today, the lust of the eyes, which is what we're going to be talking about here today, and the pride of life, which we are going to be talking about here today, because all of those things happen to fall under sexual sin. All right. So with that being said, there are two definitions that I want to go ahead and get. The first definition, the very first one, is lust. Because I want to make sure that you have the complete understanding of what lust is. Because if you was to ask someone what is lust, you know what they're going to tell you? It's sexual sin. And that's not completely correct. Let's see what lust is. What is the meaning? Let me reread that. What is the true meaning of lust? Lust is a strong craving for sex. It also can mean a hunger for anything. And those anythings we're going to be talking about next week. Like lust for power. While lust isn't a dirty word, it is a strong word. You don't have lust for something you don't really care about. I'm going to read that one more time. You don't have lust for something you really don't care about. Lust is a strong, powerful desire, whether it is a noun or verb. You lust for things you deeply crave. Now, that's also what the Bible says as well. This is the biblical definition of lust. Do you see how when you read the Bible definition of things, how it goes under the roots and it nourishes all the soil around it, the root, and including the plant that's uprooting? That's why I wanted to make sure that I got that definitive definition, okay? Now, let's go to, well, as a matter of fact, I want to read one more. I want to get the definition of pride. The definition of pride. What is pride? Watch this, family. The sin of pride is a heart attitude expressed in an unhealthy, exaggerated attention to self and an elevated view of one's abilities, accomplishments, position, or possessions. Pride has been called the cancer of the soul, the beginning of all sin, and sin in its final form. 10 Hebrew words and 2 Greek words are generally used in the Bible to refer to it. Pride in its sinful form is the direct opposite of humility, a trait that is highly praised and rewarded by God. Now, I wanted to read that there because as you see, when we go through this here tonight, you're going to see how pride intertwines with sexual sin, okay? So now let's go ahead. Let's go back to the scriptures. Now, I want to go to the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 16. The book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 16. Now, family, oh, goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and get this here. Let's get this. Galatians, chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. All right, now remember, we was talking about different lusts, right? For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Stop. Did we not talk about that last week? Remember last week when we talked about that and I said the law does not apply to you if you're keeping it. Remember? Okay. Verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Listen: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. We're going to come back to that. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Now, I'm going to say this again. We talked about this last week. Under those conditions, you're not under the law, because you have these things. You have joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. When you're keeping the law, you're not under the law. But when you are in sin, the law applies to you. Verse 24. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. You're going to find out what that means here later. You're going to find out exactly what that means. So, family, what? If we was to use one word to summarize everything that we just read, what's taking place between the spirit and the flesh? One word. You know what that word is? War. You are at war with yourself every day, because each and every last one of us has a lust that we are battling, including me. You understand that? Including me. We all deal with lust. Do y'all remember in the scriptures when Paul had an affliction, just like we just read here? And he went to Christ about it? What Christ say? Keep it. You'll be all right. And that is to remind us that we're not perfect. So there is no boasting in us. None whatsoever. So we can't walk around, and flicking our shoulders and nose turned up at people. We can't do that, because we all battle something. None of us are perfect. Not yet. Not yet. All right. So now I want us to get the definition. I told you there's a word I wanted you to remember. That word was lasciviousness. So let's go ahead. I want to get you this definition of lasciviousness. Here it is, family. Looseness, irregular indulgence of animal desires. Stop. We're going to talk about that in a second. Now, some of you may already know, but animal desires? Animal desires? Making a plant? Right there, making a plant of a seed right now, because we're going to come back to that. Wantonness, lustfulness, who being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness, and that references Ephesians chapter 4. Tendency to excite lust, to promote irregular indulgences. Do y'all understand what lasciviousness is? It means a strong desire, a craving, a yearning, a salivating of the things that the Father told you not to do, but you want to go ahead and do anyway. So now, I want us to go to Leviticus chapter 18. The book of Leviticus chapter 18, and I want to start at verse 23. So now we're about to start getting into some meat and potatoes of things here. And oh, tonight is going to be very video heavy, I'm telling you. Because we're about to bring out the first video. Neither shall thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations, for in all these the nations, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. So the Father is making this very, very clear. My Israelites cannot do what the nations do. You see, because there are certain things that the nations are involved in. And I am about to show you a video right now about some of the things that they are involved in and why the Most High made these laws so that our people don't foolishly and lustfully go follow behind them. So family, the first video here tonight, here you go.
18-year-old Mangli Munda has just got married, but she's already worried her new husband might stray, and with good reason. He's a dog.
नहीं, मैं शादी से खुश नहीं हूँ.
Mangli's parents ordered the rushed wedding on the advice of holy men who said their daughter was cursed.
मैंने कुत्ते से शादी इसलिए की क्योंकि गांव वाले ऐसा मानते हैं, ऐसा सोचते हैं कि मुझ में जो दोस्त है वो कुत्ते से शादी करने से वो उस पर चला जाएगा और फिर इसके बाद जिससे मेरी शादी होगी उसकी उम्र भी लंबी होगी. ऐसा मेरे गांव के लोग कहते हैं कि बाकी भी मेरी तरह लड़कियां हैं जिन्होंने इस रिवाज को माना है, उनके ऊपर से ये दोष हट चुका है और वो अभी खुशहाल ज़िंदगी जी रही हैं.
The teenager was apprehensive at first, but eventually decided to follow her parents' wishes by marrying a local stray named Sharu.
हाँ, पुत्र से शादी करेंगे. बहुत हुई कम से कम 4-5 को शादी देखे हुए. शादी विवाह जो हम कर रहे हैं अभी ये उसमें कोई बाधा नहीं आएगी.
No expense was spared on the big day, and Sharu even arrived in his own chauffeur-driven car. The whole village then watched as a traditional Hindu ceremony was performed before toasting their happiness with cups of homemade liquor.
हाँ, खर्च तो होते लेकिन क्या करबे, दोस्त के भगाए तो करे पड़त है. गांव कर भलाई कर लिए नहीं, पूरा रीति रिवाज कर साथ करत है, पूरा नियम धर्म सब.
With the wedding hailed a success, guests left optimistic that the curse had finally been lifted. And with the wedding not legally binding, Mangli is now free to find Mr. Right.
जी हाँ, मैं करूँगी शादी. हर लड़की का तो यही ख्वाब होता है कि वो अपने सपनों के राजकुमार से शादी करे और मैं उसके लिए इंतज़ार भी कर रही हूँ.
As for Sharu, he'll still play a big part in Mangli's future as her new family pet.
Do y'all see why the Father made these laws? Because our people go right out there and start following what the other nations do. See, stink, nasty ass, nasty, married a dog. Family, did y'all realize who came out of the room with her? Her father. Did y'all not see that? Her father was right behind her. Do you know where they were coming out of? Family, I'm gonna ask you a question again. I'm gonna ask you again. Do y'all know what type of room they were coming out of? It is a consummation chamber. Her and that dog was in there having sex. And the daddy was right there watching. Oh, nasty, nasty nigga. And this is why the father laid these laws on us and said, y'all better not do what these nations are doing. Didn't you read that the father said that the nations defile? Right here in the book. And our people used to run behind the nations and practice and do the same thing. Our people. So much that the father had to make it a law. I'd be like, y'all niggas better not do that. Disgusting. Nasty, stinking ass. And I'm not sure if you realize, but did you see the dog? The dog did not look impressed at all. So it is so horrible to say, but I bet you it wasn't any good. Even the dog didn't like it. Every scene, the dog was just sitting there looking nasty, stink ass bitch. And I got every right to call her a nasty, stink ass bitch because she laid with a dog. Now do you see why? Do you see why? Because what's a female dog? A female dog is a bitch. And that's it. She laid with one, so she's a bitch. I'm not cursing right now. I'm using the true definition. Stinking ass. Now, let's go to Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 26. The book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 26. We're going to read this here. All right. Now, I'm going to let y'all know right now because a lot of you sisters, y'all going to think I'm messing with y'all. It's not me. I'm reading the scriptures. So if you decide if you want to get mad at me, you're not getting mad at me. You're getting mad at the Most High. Just as it says in the scriptures that it is not you, it is not me that you're mad at. You're mad at him, meaning that you hate him. So don't get mad at me. All right? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 26. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Do you understand what that means? That means a brother, I'm going to put this here plainly. That means that there's a righteous brother out there. The Most High is letting them know, beware of the whorish woman. Y'all got to see how the Most High words things. Watch this. Can a man make fire in his bosom and his clothes not get burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So what is the Most High making reference to right here? Come on now, y'all not stupid, y'all not slow. You deal with a whorish woman, you get burnt. Because what she's more than likely possessing down there is a nice good old fire crotch. And here you go, and you're going to get burnt. Now, that was the physical. Now we're going to talk about the even more extreme physical because we read earlier today that the Father said, if we do not keep his commandments, what's going to happen, right? If we were to engage in these desired lusts, he made a promise that we will not be getting the kingdom. So if you will not be walking into one of those 12 gates, what is prepared for you? And the devil and his demons and Satan. Fire. And the Most High is making it very, very clear. You deal with a whorish woman, you're done. Verse 29. So he that goeth into his neighbor's house, whosoever, stop for a second, whosoever, the men and women of Israel, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whosoever committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. I want to read that one more time. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. And I wanted to read that twice because we're going to get into some things a little bit later. So I'm planting another seed right here. A wound and dishonor shall he get. Listen again. A wound, a wound, a wound. What's that talking about? Come on now. What is that talking about? A wound. Let's talk about an STD. A wound and dishonor shall he get for dealing with a whore-ass woman. Because I can only imagine what it would be like for a person to walk into a doctor's office and he got to drop them drawers and make him or her, whoever it is, take a look at that. That is the dishonor. And here, this doctor is looking at your flesh wound because you probably got something growing on the genitals. That's male and female. But specifically right now, this is talking about a man. There are consequences for dealing with whores. You're going to get burnt. All right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to read 33 again. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. That's actually going to stay. It's going to stay with you. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So that right there, you know what that's talking about? That's talking about a man with full of rage because he found out that you laid with his woman. And he said, when that nigga come after you, when that nigga get his hands on you, there is absolutely nothing you can do that's going to control that man's rage. I'm telling y'all right now, there are a lot of men out here that loves his woman. And it doesn't matter that she's out there fooling around. He won't blame her stank ass. He'll blame you. And that's why you have a lot of brothers that'll get shot. There's so many of our brothers in the penitentiary right now that are sitting up in there because they love the woman so much. And the father that said right here, that man is not sparing nothing on you. Nothing. Not a damn thing. So y'all better be careful, because I know a lot of y'all might be out there dealing with these ratchet hood rat ass chicks that have a man at home, but yet letting you nut up in her. Wounds. Wounds from that fire snatch. And definite, first of all, dishonor. And not to mention her man coming looking for you, wanting to kill you. This is all scripture. That's why I told y'all. Shut up. This is all scripture. And I'm telling y'all, I'm bringing out what the scripture says. Because these Christian pastors will never read this like that. I bring this out so that there's a full understanding. And we've all had discussions like this before. Okay? So that was that. So now let's go to Leviticus chapter 20. The book of Leviticus chapter 20. I want to start, as a matter of fact, I want to start at verse 10. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to take it straight down. And the man that committeth adultery, and a man that committeth adultery, remember we talked about that earlier? With another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. You see how the Most High is not playing when it comes to this? Death. Death. So now when y'all sit and y'all think about, people that have HIV that eventually leads to AIDS, right? Because before, they will whack your head off or do something like that. Decapitate you, kill you, stone you, whatever it was. But then Christ came. Now, do y'all see why Christ is so important to Israel? Because if all of us were out here still doing the things that we would be doing, we'd be dead. But Christ came, no. But it doesn't mean that you still will not receive judgment. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy now? There's a drug out there now. Like HIV has a drug now. They have a medicine. It's damn near a cure. But now you can take this medicine and not pass it off. You know how many people were happy then? And that's absolutely insane. All right. Verse 11. And the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. That's the Most High not playing no games. He said, I'm spilling blood, baby. Verse 12. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. Verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, this is talking about sodomy, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. As you see in everyone that we're mentioning here, the Most High is talking about spilling blood, killing. Verse 14. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. The Father said, I'm wiping all these people out. And if a man lie with the beast, here we go again, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. Both gotta die. Both have to die. And you know why? Let's talk about this here for a second. Both of them have to go. Because if a man shoots his seed into a beast, what's going to come out? Now, the idiot, the uneducated, is going to sit there and say, no, because one is human and the other is animal and they can't mate. That's a lie. Have you read about all the creatures that's in this damn book? Why does the Father say kill the beast? Why did the Father say kill the beast? So that there's no birth. Oh yeah. But you have the simpleton, you have the moron. Oh, yo, this nigga's crazy. He don't know what he's talking about, but yet scientists, they mate all these different things together. All these different animals. Different species together.
Jag lion. This hybrid between a jaguar and a lioness is a truly beautiful thing. These animals are often of a black colour, through which diffuse dark spots are seen. Apart from this, hybrids resemble the common lions. They're quite large and even have a small black mane. The two most famous jag lions, Jazara and Tsunami, were born in the Bear Creek Reserve in Ontario, Canada, without any intervention by scientists. Without any intervention by scientists. Without any intervention by scientists. The parents of the unusual cats grew up together, and then at some point they became very close friends, and, well, this is the beautiful result. Mangalica. No, this is not a computer-made video, and it's not a pig in a wig, but a real creature. The Mangalica pig was obtained in 1833 by the Hungarian Archduke Joseph, who crossed domestic pigs with wild pigs. Hybrids have thick coats thanks to the wild pigs, and not to the sheep, as it seems at first glance. The Mangalicas are of medium size, with a dense and strong skeleton. They have a long, thick fur that, in the cold season, protects perfectly against the colds. During this period, the Mangalica breed pig actually looks like a lamb, especially in the distance walking on the pasture. With the start of the warm season, the undercoat disappears and the hair turns into beautiful curls. Well, and the little Mangalica piglets are born striped and incredibly similar to the little boars, but with age, these lines unfortunately disappear.
Together, they have made lions mated with tigers. birds and snakes they done put together. All type of stuff. Let's continue. I'm telling y'all. All right. Verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. The Most High is not playing no games. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. No games. Verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness. Y'all know what that is? Y'all know what her sickness is? Her period. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Do you see what the Father said what he's going to do? The Father said he was going to cut you off from your people. So, we've all know about this situation. The two of them are horny and they want to engage in sex while the woman is on her period. The Father said you cannot do that. I want you to hear me again. The Father said you cannot do that. Because you have a brother that'll be like, oh, yo, go ahead, go put a towel down. No, don't put no damn towel down. Leave that woman alone. The Father said no. Leave her alone. You got 5 days to 7 days. All right? All y'all cycles are different. Leave her alone. Ask her to do you a favor. All right. Verse 19. And thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor of thy father's sister, for he uncovereth his near kin. They shall bear their iniquity. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless. Childless. Do you see the consequences that the Most High put on us? Why? Because our people followed after the other nations. And there was sons having sex with their mothers, mothers having sex with their daughters, because there was lesbianism going in there too. Daughters having sex with their fathers, nephews having sex with their aunts, aunts having sex with the nieces, all of that stuff, all of it. That's how the other nations got down. Israel was never supposed to get down like that. But what did we do? We followed after the other nations and the nastiness that they've done. And the Father had to create these laws. When you think about this, that is a damn shame that the Father had to create laws to tell us don't do that. Seriously, I mean, honestly, how disgusting is that really? Seriously, family, how nasty is that? I don't get it. All right, verse 21. And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. Do y'all understand what that said? Do you remember when Christ said, you cannot be lukewarm, that he will spew you out? Here it is again. Verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation. The Father says it again. Don't follow after the nations, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. Again, the Father saying that he hates the other nations, but yet you have idiot, stupid, dumbass Christian pastors that says that everybody is getting into the kingdom. And the Father just said, because everybody always go right to Esau. Everybody go because they read how the Father hated Esau. But nobody ever comes here when the Father said he hates all the nations, but loves Israel. All right, verse 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it. A land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. Wow. So where's that old Christianity bullshit? Everybody's included. No, the Father said it's all about separation. He said, I separated you from these people. I separated you from all these nations because you, Israel, you are the best people on earth. So if we are the best people on earth, right? Why are we engaged in all of these horrible, disgusting things that I just mentioned? Do you think our people not do that? Oh, well, family. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, I got a video for you. I'm not going to say nothing. I want you to be surprised, just like I was when King Eric sent it to me. Family, take a look at this.
What's the freakiest thing you ever did in your life?
I the guy and his mom.
What? His stepmom.
No, his like birth mother, and she's so like. Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Once he looked at her and told her, "Yo, come do what you do best," it was downhill from there.
Wait, he told his mom, "Come do what you do best," and
come do what you do best. She started sucking his dick, and then at one point they looked at me, and he was like, "Come suck this dick," and I was like, "Why obliged?"
Sucked his dick too.
And just sucked his dick too. We both sucked his dick
Together.
That is one big happy family.
I have no words. I have no words. None. Do you see why the Father? Do you see why? Y'all understand why he gave us these laws? Because some people, you already know, right about out of a black person's mouth, a Hispanic's mouth, or a Native American's mouth. Oh, y'all, nah, our people don't do that. Oh, our people don't do that nasty shit. Yes, we do. And it's gross. His mom, his mother, his moms, man. I cannot fathom that. I cannot fathom that. That was his mom's in the room. Mom Dukes. That nigga hit Mom Dukes with the broad. Our people are bugged out. Our people are beyond bugged out. Not all of us, but unfortunately, a great deal of us. How in the world do you do that with your mother or anybody in your family? I never understood the thing about cousins and uncles and nieces and I never got it. I never got it. And I wasn't supposed to. Thank God. But it exists. And y'all have to know that this actually exists. It happens. Many of you have dealt with this. There have been many of our brothers and sisters that have dealt with molestation. Some from fathers, mothers. They don't talk about that enough. They don't talk about the women that molest young boys. A lot of that is not talking about. And that's all having to do with lust. The craving for a younger person. A craving for a family member. It's real. It's real. It's absolutely real. And there isn't anything in the world that you can do to say that it isn't, because the scripture said it's real. All right. So now let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27, please. The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27. I'm still grossed out by that. All right, here it is. Christ talking, our big brother. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, speak about the Old Testament, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever, the people of Israel, looketh upon a woman to lust after her, committeth adultery with her already in his heart. So, I want to make sure that I paint a very clear picture here. Do y'all understand why the people back then, our forefathers and foremothers, why they wanted Christ dead? Because Christ interfered with their sin. Christ made them feel bad with this word right here. And Christ took the commandments and following them and turned it all the way up. Boom! Turn that bass on. Just like Paul did. And that's why you have certain camps that they do not follow the New Testament, because they say, no, that Christ thing, that he ain't real. He ain't real. He was just another person. But that's what Christ did. Turn that volume all the way up. It was like, y'all can't even be thinking about no other females, nigga. You already committed adultery with her before, because you know what you was thinking about? You was thinking about tapping that ass. And what happened? You committed adultery. That goes for you sisters as well. Y'all not slick. Y'all not slick. That goes the very same with you. Because a lot of times, you know what, kings, let's talk about this. Y'all know what sisters try to do, what they do, and they're known for doing this here. They like to make us look so animalistic. Like it's always us. And that's not true at all. The Bible says that's not true. And they'll make us feel guilty about the things that we do and try to act like angels, like they don't have thoughts. They don't have any of those things, when they are just as guilty. We're all guilty in this here together. All of us. All right. So we're not going to be playing those stupid games. None. All right. Let's continue. Verse 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So this is not Christ literally talking about plucking out your damn eye. He's saying, yo, listen, if your eyes fail you, then guess what you gotta do? You gotta repent. Bow, stop. Oh, stop. And I'm gonna say, for a lot of sisters that's out there in that world, they make it very difficult. Because nowadays, you can't even go through social media. You can't even flip through your phone without seeing some tits and ass right there in your face. I'm telling you, it's like, and it has nothing to do with what that person went and visited. That's what I'm talking about. It has to do with ads that come up. It has to do with whatever they post on social media, and it's all over the place now. And not only with brothers, but also with sisters that's dealing with, I'll call it sodomy. I'll call it what the Bible calls it. That's dealing with sodomy. Women that's dealing with that. the unnatural nature of another woman. And there are so many thirst-trapping thoughts out there that's making it hard spiritually and physically for a lot of our brothers. That's why it is so important for you kings and princes. I want y'all to hear me when I say this. It is so important for you to fast. Do you know what fasting does? Fasting helps prepare you for denying your impulses and urges. That goes for men and women, but right now, specifically talking to our kings and princes. That's why you have to learn to fast, so you can learn how to say no. All right, let's continue. Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. It hath been said, whosoever, and I want you kings and princes to listen to this very close. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery. See, now a lot of y'all kings, y'all not ready to have that conversation. You see, I know a lot of you sisters, a lot of brothers talk to y'all, you know, they really go ahead and put y'all on blast, right? But right now I gotta put us kings on blast right now. So, are y'all ready for this conversation? This is a real one. When we put our wives away, we divorce them. And you know why? Because for a lot of brothers, they're tired of laying with that woman. They want something else. They want something different. They want something new. They need a new spark in life. They want to go beat up on something else. So you tie that woman, you put her away. So now she's out there. So of course another man gonna come and holler at her, get at her, want to marry her. But guess what you just did? We just caused that brother to sin. Now he's in sin. Because you wanted something else. Because your lustful desire wanted to beat up on the inside of some other chick. And now our brothers are out there sinning now with the woman that you put away. That's a real thing, family. That's a real thing. Something that is not talked about, but it's absolutely real. And kings, this is why it is so important that you prove a friend to this woman and vice versa. The father said, that one is yours. You wanted it? That's yours. Her. A lot of lust. And we cause our brothers and sisters to sin. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So now, the only way that you can put away your wife is if she cheats on you. If she's laid with another man. That's the only time that can happen. That you could divorce your wife. That's it. There's no other time. When the father laid down these laws, he wasn't playing, was he? All right, now let's go to Job. The book of Job, chapter 31 and verse 1. I like this one. I love this one. Watch this. Watch this. I made a covenant with mine eyes. You remember what Christ said earlier? I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? That's very simple to understand. Maid meaning young woman. Why? How many of us out there have a problem looking at them little young girls out there? A lot of Israel do. And y'all better stop that nasty shit. Leave them little girls alone. Right here in the scriptures. And that's what Christ said. Take the eye out. Leave them little sisters alone. You're going to go corrupt her damn life. With your old ass. Leave her alone. Now, let's go to Romans chapter 7 and verse 7, please. The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 7. See what this has to say. What shall we then? Is the law sin? Hold on a second. Let's stop. Why is all this happening? Come right back into play. Why is it talking about the law so much? Remember, it's all about the law. And there is a primary focus because there are so many people that's telling our people out there that they no longer have to follow the law. But all throughout the scriptures, the Father is making, and this here, the New Testament, what the biggest argument is about, oh, the New Testament did away with the law. You a damn lie, because it keeps saying everything about the damn law. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. Saying it again. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. It made it very, very clear. Extremely clear. The law is all about keeping you in order, keeping you in balance on that narrow path. That narrow path. You cannot escape the law. You can't. It doesn't matter what you try to do. It doesn't matter what you try to say. It doesn't matter what type of Bible verse and Bible lesson you try to put together to disprove it. It will never be proven wrong. You cannot get rid of the law. The law is from the very first chapter of the Bible to the very last one. Because the Father had to lay down the law in creation. He gave the law to the beach. He said the water can only go this far. Birds can only fly this high. But yet, people don't want to talk about that. There's laws in nature. Who the hell do we think we are talking about? We don't have to follow no damn laws. There's Christianity and I don't want to get on no soapbox. All right. Now, let's go to something here real quick, family. Oh, yes. I want to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38. Many of you already know which one this is. The book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38. And we're going to see exactly how this plays into this. Watch this. And the Lord said unto Moses, well, as a matter of fact, no, 38. I'm reading 35, 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. So now, family, I'm not sure if y'all can see this. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it? I'm not sure. Let me stand up. Let me stand up. Can y'all see that? You see the fringes? The fringes in the border of blue, right? All right. So now, the Father said that we had to wear this. Why? Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them. So the fringes is a reminder to keep the commandments. And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring. Whoa! So why did the Most High go ahead and say, why? How were we being whores? When we followed the other nations, just like we read all throughout tonight. And the Father made it crystal clear. We are not to follow these nations. We are whoring when we do the things that they do. And there was a whole bunch of horror scriptures up in here. Watch this. That ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. Y'all see that? Now let's have a little, a simple look at our countenance, right? Let's see. So now, for us kings and princes. It shouldn't be the princes. But do you know when we go to lay down with somebody, right? Or even or have a particular oral sexual act performed on us, right? What do we have to do? What do we got to do? Remember, tonight's grown folk talk. What do we got to do? Zip. Pull it out. The zip is right here, right? What you got to touch? You got to touch the fringes. You got to touch the fringes. That is why the Most High wants you in your dress code. That is why it is a law, it is a commandment that you must wear your fringes. And if you don't, the Father said he's going to kill you. Queens, for the ones who allow this man to enter into you, what must you do? What you gotta do? You have to bend down, pick up your dress, and when you touch the hem of your dress, what do you feel? Uh-oh, you feel fringes there. And that's a reminder. No. You have to wear a dress. That dress is a part of your dress code. Why? Because on pants, you can't put fringes on those. So when the Father says we cannot engage in the things that the nations did, that's what he meant. We had laws all the way back then and today, the very same laws that we have to follow. That's why the Father said throughout your generations, because for you queens, if you're not wearing a dress, then guess what? All you got to do is pop, 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 pull them pants down and let them get up in there. And there's no reminder there. This is why the Father said you have to be in a skirt or a dress. Y'all are not slick. At all. And I hear so many of these stupid dumbass sisters try to argue why they don't have to wear dresses or skirts, as the Father said. And guess what? If you're not in your dress code, the Father's gonna kill you. You're gonna die, stupid. Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Stop. In this description of the word here, did you see anything that was plural? Y'all already know where I'm going with that. New Testament, there ain't no multiple wives. Verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife, I want you sisters, I want you to listen, open your ears. And a lot of y'all are going to try to turn now. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, you're going too long. Stay there and listen. The wife hath no power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise also kings, y'all better listen up. Also the husband hath no power over his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. What did all of that describe right there? Queens, guess what? You mad at your husband? You mad at that man? You can't deny him the booty. You cannot deny him them cheeks. Those are his. It belongs to him. Yup. Kings. Guess what that means for you? When you feeling all old and decrepit and you don't want to do nothing, you don't got no energy, you don't have the breathing power, you cannot deny her your rod. It's hers. It belongs to her. You see what happens now? Let me tell you what really happens now here. Let me tell you something. For one, a lot of times, a lot of arguments take place between a husband and wife. They want to hold out on each other. During that time, you know who creeps in? The devil creeps in. Start playing with you right here. What happens? The woman's eyes wander. That nigga that was always trying to holler her, get at her. Or because you holding back that rod from her. And the first you're going to say, well, nigga, I got niggas waiting. Hop right out. That's real. It happens. This is why the Father said you can't do that. And queens, when you are just jabbing at your man and you just throwing them punches, you throwing them in there. And believe it or not, I want you sisters to listen to me. I want you to hear me when I say this, because a lot of y'all think that nobody's looking at your man. You're dumb as hell. You are an idiot if you believe that. Do you know, and especially if it's a good brother, do you know how many women are looking at that brother? Waiting for you to mess up. And what you gonna do? Get him right here. Because this is where cheating begins. Cheating begins right here in the mind. That's why Christ told you. Christ wasn't playing no games. He knew what he was talking about. You see that? We can't hold back. We can't. That booty belongs to him and that rod belongs to her. That's yours. Yours. And y'all got to make sure that y'all come together so that there is no lust. But kings, y'all know what though? That's right, queens. I'm about to tell on y'all tonight. Let me tell y'all something. Don't try to use masturbation as a tool to get over this. Let me tell y'all something right now. That's a game not to play. It's not to play. Don't play that game at all. The male and female don't play that game. I'm telling you right now. Because in regards, kings, let me tell y'all something. And we're gonna be grown folk talk. These sisters, they got that down to a science. It doesn't matter what we think and how good it feels when we do it. They got it down to an absolute science. Why do you think she's able to stay mad at you for so damn long when y'all have arguments? Y'all have arguments and whatnot? Let me tell you, because a lot of you sisters, y'all think that with us men, you know, y'all try to say, oh, y'all niggas nasty and all that, whatever. Shut up. All right, don't sit there and try to act like y'all never played a little game of beanbag down there by yourselves. A little game of solitary. Shut your mouth. Because you do. And we could be right there next to him. Right there, you know, she's sitting there shivering. And, you know, oh, you cold? And she like, don't touch me. I'm telling y'all, don't play that game with these sisters. Don't do it. We can't be playing like that. We cannot deny each other. We can't do that. And better not do it. I'm telling y'all right now. And I really want y'all to understand something. As much as we sit, we joke around, we have fun, we make light of this particular lesson. And this particular lesson should be made light of because it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. They don't like having these types of discussions. But we have to have these discussions, family, because we have to be able to communicate this Bible. And I don't mind, you know, making the situation light, but we always do get down to business. All right, so if anybody's offended by anything that I say tonight, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad I offended you. So I want y'all to understand this here. We can talk about anything. And next week, we are going to get into some deeper stuff here. We really, really are. But we just had to get this one out of the way because this was the big one, sex. That was the big one. You know, that taboo topic that nobody likes talking about. But as y'all already know, I'll talk about any damn thing. Y'all know I don't care. I don't care about none of that. And I truly, truly hope that somebody learned something from this here tonight because, for one, there are real issues. We have to talk about them. They may be uncomfortable, but we'll get through it. And we'll get through it together as a family. Israel! I am so glad we was able to bring this out here tonight and have this. It wasn't uncomfortable for me. It may have been for you, but it wasn't for me. I had fun. I actually had fun with this lesson. I did. I already know how I can get. And I don't mind making an ass of myself. I don't care. Who cares? Sex is in the Bible. Okay? The Father made sex for a reason. It's between a husband and a wife. And that's where it needs to remain. But lust is not just sex, though, which we're going to learn about next week. It's going to be part 2. And we're going to go over those things. And I want y'all to know I love y'all so much. All right? But I also want you to know this, too. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I'm being serious right now. Stop being so serious with everything. Okay? Learn to enjoy life. Learn to enjoy having conversations like this. Because we can all get together and have these conversations. We really, really can. And it's a dope thing when all of us can really sit back and laugh at the things that we have to go through. Seriously, straight up, right? Life is not that, it's really not that difficult. It really isn't. So a lot of y'all, what I say to you, I want a lot of you to lighten up. Okay? Lighten up with your husband. Lighten up with your wife. Have fun. Get in this book and talk about these things. These are real issues, real events. All right? Now, family, I want y'all to go out there. I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful Sabbath and love each other, enjoy each other, and most importantly, come together for the Most High and His love for Israel. All right? And with that being said, Israel, I love you. I'm out.